In September of last year, I deleted all my social media. Now you're probably thinking one of two things, right? Amber, why on earth would you do that? Or, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people do that lately. And I want to talk about both of those points, but I'm going to start with the first one. So in September of last year, I had turned 26. And I don't recall what I did that day. I didn't spend it with family. I didn't spend it with friends. I didn't go out. I'm not even sure I left my bed. But I did get a very special present. And that was a screen time report telling me that I had somehow managed to spend 25 hours in one day on my phone. I stared at this report for a while, and it felt like it was staring back at me. And I sat with a discomfort for a while. And I realized that I really gotta make a change. Somehow unlocking a 25th hour to spend on my phone is a problem. So initially I had tried screen time limits, right? I give myself an hour on this app, an hour on that app, and an hour on a third, an hour on the fourth. I'm not even sure how many apps there were, but I allocated an hour to each of them. That didn't work, because as soon as I spent that hour, I just bypassed the limit, and I kept scrolling, but this time with added guilt. So next, I tried to have my phone on the other side of the room to create friction, so it was harder for me to get up and go scroll. That didn't work very well either. And I realized that I can't willpower my way out of this problem. So I made the decision to ultimately close my accounts and delete social media altogether off my phone. Yeah. Now at first, I was feeling accomplished. I felt like I had stuck it to the man. I was somehow better. And I escaped. I was feeling really good and confident initially. Within like a day, that confidence had worn off. I was getting agitated. I was moody. I was irritated. And I was angry. And all I knew is that if I grabbed my phone and I just went back to scrolling, just reinstalled the apps, I would feel better. I would be happy again. I could solve that problem. And I have a bachelor's degree in political science and sociology. However, I first went to college for social work and addictions counseling. So I recognized the symptoms of an addiction. And I sat with yet another sense of discomfort, realizing that I was addicted to social media. And that hit me really hard, because I always thought I was impervious to addiction. I thought I was something special. I thought I was better than everyone. No. There was nothing that made me special. I was able to say no to substances, but still got sucked in by a phone. And that really, I could best describe it as ego death. Yeah. It really changed how I perceived myself. And in my brain, it gave me new resolve. It made me realize that if I were to pick that phone back up and I were to just download those apps again and start scrolling again, nothing would change. And I knew that I have the strength to overcome this. I have the tools, I have the resources. I can do that. And that really helped me realize what exactly was going on. Within a month, the moodiness subsided. And I was able to be myself again. And I felt a sense of accomplishment. Because I'd gone a while without feeling the need to, I have to, I can't resist it, I need it. No. And that's when I realized, oh, that was a problem. That was a genuine problem. Yikes. And that's also part of the reason why I've had a bit of a hiatus from posting on YouTube. Because I had a really hard time compartmentalizing creating content from endless scrolling. I had a really hard time separating the two. And so I decided until I was better, I was going to step away from everything. I didn't make no announcements. Never let them know your next move. But behind the scenes, I was practicing. I was working on creating content while keeping everything else separate. Now, of course, none of that content ever made it to the light of day because, well, it wasn't real content. It was like decoy content. And it took me months. Clearly a lot of months, because this is a new apartment. I moved. This is a new town. I moved. And my old tripod got destroyed in said move, and I only bought a new tripod once I had the confidence that I could handle it. Now, of course, I noticed something interesting when I started watching YouTube again. This is going to get onto my second point that I made. It feels like everybody's deleting their social media these days. The first thing I saw was somebody talking about trading in their smartphone for a quote-unquote dumb phone. I'm like, huh, interesting. And then I saw some commentary channels that I used to enjoy watching talking about, oh yeah, my social media detox, or oh, social media is doing this and this to your brain. And I'm like, oh, apparently a lot of people came to the same conclusion I did. And it made me feel less alone in this situation, right? It almost felt like there was some sort of solidarity. Now, of course, lots of those people depended on social media for their livelihood. As of now, I don't. So I could step away, and my life got better. And the livelihood off of social media is one of the main reasons why I don't think social media itself is bad. I genuinely think it's the algorithms that they use. I genuinely think it's the fact that they want you to scroll endlessly. Now, I remember that if you scrolled for too long, TikTok used to have this thing that was like, oh, you've been scrolling for this amount of time, take a break. You just scroll right past that. You just keep going. The break wasn't enforced. Who has to listen? I didn't. The only thing that got me to take a break was deleting it. Yeah. Gone. And coming back, I realized, whew, lots of other people had these issues too. I don't really think I have anything else to say on this subject right now. If you guys have anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to comment on, just let me know down in the comments below. Because at least that isn't algorithmically generated to keep me scrolling for hours. Anyways, it's great to be back. Happy to hear from all of y'all. If you want to see more of my content, give me a subscribe. If you like this video in particular, hope you give me a big old thumbs up. And with all that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.